All right, good afternoon. It's 5 o'clock, and I want to welcome everybody to our June 16th, 2023 Des Moines City Council meeting. Let's call the meeting to order, and I will ask the clerk to please take roll.
County.
Here.
Boson.
Here.
Voss.
Here.
Westergaard.
Here.
Mandelbaum.
Here.
Gatto.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Item 2 is approving the agenda as presented and/or as amended. Let me quickly, the consent agenda, items 3 through 51. Item 4A and 4B were withdrawn. Your inspections were incomplete. 33 was withdrawn by the city manager, and 49 is revised as a roll call on the regular agenda items. 52 to 64. 57A was revised roll call.
Move approval.
I'll second it.
We can do a voice vote for that.
There's a voice vote, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
There we go. Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing none, item passes. Item 3 is approving the consent agenda, items 3 through 51. These are routine items and will be enacted by one roll call vote without separate discussion unless pursuant to the council rules, the council requests an item to be removed and considered separately. Item 4U, Councilmember Mandelbaum is asked to pull that item and to speak on it. In item 5, I vote no.
Move approval.
Second.
All right, ask everybody to vote.
Six yes.
All right, let's quickly move to our hearing items. Again, for the hearing items this evening, we have several vacation and conveyance hearings, one zoning hearing, item 56, and a license agreement hearing, a property acquisition hearing, and 2 public improvement hearings, plus 1 continuance on which no public comment will be taken. As a reminder, for the zoning items only, which will be item 56, we will hear from the parties in interest first and then from the general public. The parties in interest are the applicant or somebody who lives within 250 feet and has received a notice from the city. We will ask that no one step to the microphone unless you are a party in interest, and at which time those people will speak, and then we will ask for the general public to step up. But we will have to say that anyone who approaches the mic before it is their time to speak will be compared to our mailing list, and if you're not on the list, be considered to be disruptive and will not be recognized for the remainder of the evening. So please wait until I call on the general public for the zoning item. After all the parties in interest have been called upon, the general public will be called upon to make germane comments, not to exceed 1 minute per person, to a maximum of 7 minutes per hearing, unless the hearing is ended sooner for a failure to make germane comments or comment run out. For the property acquisition hearing, any person may make germane comments, again, not to exceed that 1 minute until comments cease, unless the hearing is ended sooner, either because the comments are not germane or that they run out. And for all the other hearing items this evening, any interested party may make germane comments, again, not to exceed 1 minute per person to a maximum of 5 minutes per hearing, unless the hearing is ended sooner. As a reminder, on the public improvement hearings, only comments as to the plans, specifications, form of documents, and the engineer's estimate and the low bidder designation will be considered germane. All other comments will be considered non-germane. So let's go ahead and we'll open it up and get to item 52. Right, item 52 is on the vacation of a portion of alley right-of-way in the block bounded by Woodland Avenue on the north, High Street on the south, 24th Street on the east, and 28th Street on the west, and conveyance to Jesse Lake, Cameron Gale, and Chester Smith and Nicole Ryan. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above. B is the final consideration of the ordinance above. The waiver is requested by Chester Smith and requires 6 votes. Again, we'll open up for germane comments from the general public. Anyone want to speak on this vacation of a portion of the alley? Seeing none,
Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to move item 52, 52A, and 52B.
52A, 52B have been moved and seconded. Ask everybody to vote.
6 yes.
Item 53 is on the vacation of an undeveloped portion of Southwest 4th Street right-of-way located between Porter and Deal Avenue, and conveyance of a portion of said vacated right-of-way to MRL Enterprises, LLC, for $150. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above. Again, we'll open it up for germane comments regarding the vacation of this undeveloped portion of Southwest 4th Street. Seeing none,
Seeing none, Your Honor, I'll move item 53, 53A, and pursuant to Rule 42A, I'll waive the second and third reading.
I'll second.
right, been moved and seconded. Ask everybody to vote.
6 yes.
Item 54 is on a continuance of a hearing on a vacation of segments of Ingersoll Avenue, right-of-way and a conveyance of easements for bus shelter encroachment on city-owned property to Des Moines Area Regional Transit Authority for $1,320, and we're going to continue that to August 7th of 2023.
I'll move item 54.
Second.
Been moved and seconded.
6 yes.
Item 55 is on the conveyance of excess city property located at the corner of East Washington Avenue and DeWolf Street to Jackson Contracting LLC for $30,500, and we'll open it up for germane comments from the general public. Anyone have any comments regarding this conveyance of excess city property? Seeing none, item 55.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Ask everyone to vote.
6 yes.
Item 56 is on a request from William C. Knapp, L.C. Gerald D. Nugent is the officer for 2 parcels located in the vicinity of 1803 County Line Road to amend Plan DSM creating our tomorrow plan to revise the future land use classification from business park within a future neighborhood node to a community mixed-use business park, public, semi-public, and low-medium density residential within a neighborhood node, and to rezone the properties from EX mixed-use district to multiple districts, including MX3 mixed-use district, MX1 mixed-use district, P2 public, civic, and institutional district, I1 industrial district, NX2 neighborhood mixed district to allow a large-scale multi-use development. A is the first consideration of the ordinance above. B is the final consideration of the ordinance above. The waiver is requested by Gerald D. Nugent, who's the manager, requires 6 votes. And we'll open it up and see if there's any parties in interest. First, the applicant is...
Paul Clausen, Civil Engineering Consultants, 2486th Street, Unit 12, Urbandale, Iowa. Here on behalf of William C. Knapp, L.C. for the rezoning request of 1803 County Line Road. The site is 2 parcels for a combined area of 17.93 acres. We're requesting this rezoning from EX Mixed Use District to I-1, MX1, MX3, P2, NX2. And this zoning is to accommodate a multi-use project. The neighborhood meeting was held and no major concerns were voiced. And no oppositional comments have been submitted to my knowledge. Staff recommended approval of the comprehensive plan amendment and the rezoning request, and the P and Z unanimously recommended approval. We request that you approve the proposed rezoning and waive the second and third readings, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if I can.
Anybody? Stay available. We'll see if anybody else has anything. Ask any other parties in interest. Anyone? Any general public comment? All right. Seeing none.
Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I'll move item 56, 56A, and 56B.
All right. Been moved and seconded. Ask everyone to vote.
6 yes.
Item 57 is on the approval of a license agreement with Sherman Hill Association, Inc. to allow for the replacement of the existing streetlight system with a decorative lighting system within the street right-of-way border areas and parts of the Sherman Hill neighborhood. A is approving the operating agreement with Sherman Hill Association, Inc. for the provision of services and activities within the Sherman Hill Association Self-Supported Municipal Improvement District, SMID. Let's open it up for general comments and germane comments from the general public. Anybody want to speak to this license agreement with the Sherman Hill Association?
Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I'll move 57, 57A.
Second.
Ask everyone to vote.
6 yes.
Item 58 is in the intent to commence a public improvement project to construct the East Army Post Road and Southeast 36th Street roundabout project and to authorize acquisition of the necessary property interest. Council Communication number 23-302. Again, we'll open it up for germane comments from the general public. Again, this is the public improvement project. All right, we have one speaker. All right.
Hello, Carol Maher. I live in Ward 3. I'm way in support of roundabouts. I think they're an excellent traffic solution. And I was in the work session with all of you when the mayor of somewhere in Indiana talked about the importance of having not one roundabouts, but many. So hopefully this is just the first of many, because he found that when you just had one, people didn't learn. And that once you have one, it's kind of like getting a tattoo. You get a lot more. So it's important, I think, that we use the solution in many places throughout the city. Thank you. There's some people.
Ken Ross. My wife and I live at 3415 East Peyton, and this roundabout is adjacent to our property. There's a farm field there and all around this particular construction, and we're curious about what land is, have they decided what land to purchase, or the land they need? We got a very germane or generic map of the area that called out things but had no specifics whatsoever. In fact, there was some questions on this document. It's, it's like, it was supposedly an engineering document, and it says, what are these? And it has drawing or lines pointed to things that are along the roadway. So curious about how, is this just permission for the Public Works Department, Engineering Department to start doing work on this, or is there something that is going on, you've already got?
Mr. Manager, would you like to take that?
Yeah, and I've asked Steve Neighbor to come in, and so I can let Steve answer the specifics, but this is one of the first steps in acquisition in order for us to go after the property that is needed. But Steve would be best to answer questions about what we're looking at for the necessary acquisitions.
So is there going to be additional meetings for this, or? Okay.
And I apologize, I only heard some of the questions as I was coming in, but Honorable Mayor, Member of City Council, Steve Neighbor, City Engineer. And so to talk about the process, again, this is the action that gives us the right to start the real estate process and start discussions. So what would actually happen is we would have an actual real estate coordinator that's assigned and work with the individual property owners that are impacted. In this case, there's 4 of them. And so they would work directly with those property owners, prepare plats of actually what property is needed, and work individually with the property owner. So there would be a real estate coordinator that from the city, a city staff member that would reach out.
So this is the start of the process?
This is the start, yep. This gives us the authorization to, yeah.
And I think he asked about future meetings. How do people come in if you miss the initial meetings, right?
We had a virtual meeting, but it's been a while since we've had the virtual meeting. It was during COVID, and we did have a virtual meeting. I think that's the only one we did have, correct? Or did we have another one that I possibly could have missed?
That's correct, yeah. The initial meeting when we developed the concept was in July of 2020.
Right.
So, yeah. And I believe the recording may even still be on the city website, yeah, as well.
Right. We have another speaker.
I'm Don Rothfuss. I'm one of the owners. So basically, the maps you sent to us don't mean anything. You're going to meet with us later?
There'll be, the maps were probably general maps of the, like real general high-level maps. So there'll be a real estate coordinator that will reach out to you, and then they'll go through a process. Actually, we have to prepare the actual legal maps that show exactly what the dimensions are of the property we needed.
Just ignore what we got.
Yeah, I mean, it's the map doesn't really have a lot of detail.
There were no acres or anything on there.
Right.
So
yep, that's correct.
that'll come later.
That we have to actually have surveyors prepare those legal documents and then provide them to you for.
Okay, when are you going to do that?
It'd probably be later this year. It takes time we have to have a consultant team prepare the actual plats and legals. But
Okay.
So, yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Steve. And so for the residents that are here that I represent, so once we get through the process, as you go through that with real estate and engineering, if there's any issues, obviously you can reach out to me, telephone or email, and I'm happy to hear your concerns, and we'll get through it. And this will be a really good improvement. I was never a fan of roundabouts. I'm probably the only one up here that was never a fan of roundabouts until I vacation quite a bit in the South, where that's all they have is roundabouts, and they work tremendously, and they slow traffic down, but they also keep traffic moving instead of everyone lining up at a stoplight or a stop sign. They work, and Carol is right that we're probably going to need to do more of them so people are used to how to drive on them, because there's certain lanes you have to stay in as you're going around or you're turning, and I'm sure those will be marked adequately as we go through this process, and there will be a learning curve, but this will help that intersection, and it will slow folks down. As far as your property goes, we will be fair. I know there like 3 of them, it is mostly farmland, and then one of them, I believe, is probably your residence, or maybe not. So we, whatever we need, we'll be fair with everybody, and we'll try not to mess up too much of your property as we go through this process.
Steve, in broad strokes, how much more real estate, how much more land does a roundabout take than a traditional intersection?
So in general, usually it's not much more because typically intersections need, turn lanes to go with them. But in this case, it is a little bit more with the corner. We actually do need to construct, it is a single lane roundabout, and so there will be corners impacted on each of the properties. The single lane inscribed circle is going to be like at least 150 feet because we have large vehicles, trucks and, that need to maneuver around the roundabout. And if I could make one more point, there was a comment earlier about a series of roundabouts. We actually do, we had public meetings about the corridor earlier this year, and there is another roundabout that is planned at Three Lakes. So there is a series of them, as well as just folks, obviously we have lots of roundabouts around the metro, but Polk County is building 2 of them on Broadway that would be in the city as well. But this is proposed to be a series of them. This one, to be honest with you, reminds me exactly of where I grew up in Bettendorf. If you're familiar with Bettendorf, Iowa, Middle Road and 53rd Avenue, right off of Interstate 80. It's exactly 1.5 miles off of I-80, so you have high speeds coming off of I-80 into an area that's brand new development, just like this is. We've had a lot of development in the area. This is almost an identical situation, 1.25 miles off of Highway 65, and the issues are, from our analyses, the speeding on this road is substantial. It's something like 70-some% of the people are speeding on this roadway. We do have young we obviously got the safe, but we have high school drivers going to Carlisle, and the traffic volumes coming off of 36 on the north leg have quadrupled in the past 20 years.
So a property owner could, might not hear from the city until late in the year, they could go see a roundabout in Pleasant Hill, or I think there are 2 or 3 in Johnston, 1 in Waukee, so you don't have to go all the way to Bettendorf to see what a roundabout.
You can go to Ankeny to do that. They've got them up there.
Just to get an idea about the space.
You can go to 44th and Harwood, too.
Yeah.
That's
And then one other thing that I would like to comment on is the middle of it, we will be maintaining it. It won't look like, a weed patch or something like that, whether we put public art or whether we put something there that's going to be maintained. And I made that clear. If we're going to put roundabouts in, we're going to have to maintain the middle portion of it. So it's not an eyesore, because I know some of the smaller ones that we had in the Easter Lake area that got taken out when I was newly elected, those were an eyesore, and they did not do what they were supposed to do. So if there's not any more comments, I'll move 58. Thank you, Steve.
Second.
Anyone else want to comment? Seeing none. Been moved and seconded. Ask everybody to vote.
6 yes.
Item 59 is on Gray Station Trunk Sanitary Sewer, a resolution approving the plan specifications, form of contract documents, engineer's estimate, receive and file bids, and designating the lowest responsible bidder as MPS Engineers, PC, doing business as Kingston Services, PC. Umesh G. Chaiti is the president, $2,371,064. Council Communication number 23-299. A is approval of the contract and bond. And again, let's ask the general public if they have any comments regarding the plans, the specs, the form of the documents, the engineer's estimate, or the low bidder. Anyone need to comment here? Seeing none.
Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I'll move item 59 and 59A.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Ask everybody to vote.
6 yes.
Item 60 is on the demolition of the former Public Works facility at 216 Southeast 5th Street and 108 Southeast 5th Street. The resolution approving the plan specifications, form of contract documents, engineer's estimate, receive and file bids, and designating the lowest responsible bidder as Earth Services and Abatement, LLC, doing business as Iowa Demolition. Mike Burst is the managing director. $615,000. Council Communication Number 23-300. A is the approval of the contract and bond. And again, we'll ask the general public to comment on the plans, the specs, the form of documents, the engineer's estimate, or the low bidder designation. Would anybody like to speak to that? Seeing none?
Seeing none, Mr. Mayor, I'll move items 60 and 60A.
Second.
Been moved and seconded.
6 yes.
All right. Let's note that it's 5:25, and we end the hearings. We're now going to go back to 4U. Uh, 4U is approving under the heading of alcoholic beverage applications. U is the Tipsy Crow Tavern at 102 3rd Street. They're applying for a Class C liquor license. Councilmember Mandelbaum.
Yeah, I would like to continue this item and specifically move to continue this till the next meeting to allow the city manager, police department, and legal departments to review whether or not all state and city license requirements are being met, given recent developments surrounding the sole member of the LLC license renewal applicant. So,
Second.
thank you.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Ask everybody to vote.
6 yes.
All right. That will take us back to approving item 61. This is 61 is items regarding the Upper East Village Urban Renewal Area. A is a resolution of necessity. B is the first consideration of the ordinance designating the Upper East Village TIF District Number 1. 1 is the final consideration of the ordinance above. The waiver is requested by the Development Services Director and requires 6 votes. C is the Urban Renewal Development Agreement with HOA Aston LLC for the construction of a 186-unit mixed-use apartment building at 603 East 6th Avenue. And that's Council Communication Number 23-311.
I'll move to approve items 61A, B, and C.
I'll second.
Do I need to do B1 as well specifically?
That'll be,
Okay, and
Been moved
B1.
and seconded.
Six yes.
62 are items regarding membership with the Mid-Iowa Planning Alliance for Community Development. Choose one alternative below, A or B. A is a 1-year extension of the membership, or B, a resignation of membership.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I'll jump in here real quick. This was part of the MPO, and as I was chair, this had came up, kind of sold to all of us at the MPO that there was lots of COVID money out there that we were missing out on if we didn't basically create this. It's been very, very messy, as I've given you brief reports, all of you, as we've gone through at the MPO, was sharing employees, doing outside contracting that has competed with brick and mortar that actually pay our fees for the MPO. And I asked them to please, before the end of the year, to move this out of the MPO. The end of the year is June 30th. They were unable to do that. So at this point, I would recommend that we do 62B. I'm willing to relook at it once they have a new home, but I think we have other opportunities possibly with grant writers or partnering with some of our partners that we have with other communities that can probably fill the need. This is a duplicate of services for what we do at the City of Des Moines. This is more for smaller communities. And so I'll move 62B.
I'll second.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
If I may, I do not plan on voting for this. I think the MPO was right to move forward with creating MIPA, and it's an example of Des Moines participating in a regional partnership, but one that, if this works as intended, will draw down dollars for us and will make us eligible for federal dollars that I think we don't want to miss out on taking those opportunities. I think while it has been messy, I think they're working to address the concerns. And so I personally do not think that we should be pulling out at this time. And so I'm not going to vote to pull out. I recognize that I may be the lone one here, but I don't think this sends a good message to our partners in the region. And I think we should be a little more patient and try and work with our partners.
A lot of our partners have already pulled out of it.
Could I just ask, have they brought any grants or any funds to our city yet? Or I can see, when they get rehoused or whatever, I think to the point that we can re-engage once they get settled onto what the mission, but I was just curious as to what they've been able to bring forward.
Mr. Manager?
Thank you. Mayor and council, there has not been any awards for the city of Des Moines at this point, or even applications that have proceeded.
And so even if we would pull out, they're in the process of finding a new home outside of MPO, that they would have a new home in a few months or whatever?
Correct. My understanding is they're discussing with several entities the possibility of housing.
And then at that time, we could revisit this again.
My understanding is we could re-enter at any point.
Any other comments? It's been moved and seconded. I'll just make one comment. I certainly am fully supportive of doing full planning, especially as it relates to all the investments that we do in our region with the federal government, with the state government, involving highways, involving development, involving resources, appropriate places to plan for the future of our communities. Where do people work? Where do people live? And I think that this sort of thing is necessary, but it has been unsuccessful to this moment for a wide variety of reasons. And I would look to our city manager to move forward also in looking at all of our options to support the efforts that we all share, not only in the city of Des Moines, but in this region and in this state, to see what we can do to get access to the proper dollars to do the proper planning to move forward. So I'm going to vote yes on this motion.
Five yes, one no.
Moves us to 62I. These are items regarding the Vision Zero Transportation Safety Action Plan, Council Communication number 23-308. A is approving and adopting the Vision Zero Transportation Safety Action Plan and a commitment to a goal to eliminate traffic deaths and serious injury by 2040 on streets within the city of Des Moines. B is approving and authorizing the application for a United States Department of Transportation, USDOT, Safe Streets and Roads for All, SS4A, implementation grant. Any discussion?
Just, Scott, as we go through this process and as we adopt this, because I plan on being supportive of this, the dollars with our CIP, do you see a substantial change in that as we do some of these initiatives in this program? I mean, are we looking at a substantial amount more than what we have budgeted for the next 5 years in some of these projects? And if so, how are we going to prioritize what we do and what we can't do because the dollars aren't there, but the road needs reconstructed?
Yeah, valid question, but there's not an easy answer
Yeah, I
to
figured that.
So,
That's why I put it on you.
right. So,
it comes to money.
here's what I would tell you. With this plan, we will be able to identify where funding would have the most impact. And so from those lists that are in this report and recommendations, I will be able to provide to you each budgetary cycle, which ones I would recommend we're able to afford to advance. And I will distinguish for you which ones need to be addressed anyway, and these safety elements are simply enhancements versus going into a street, roadway that does not need to be replaced due to maintenance, but rather there is a safety issue that needs to be addressed immediately, not unlike East University recently. And so I'll distinguish that for you each year. And then your definition of significant investment will depend on the reactions we get in those conversations from council on how aggressive to be with additional funding and how that prioritizes against everything else.
So,
Right, so it's a choice.
yeah,
It'd be
so
your choice.
It's, I mean, when we adapt this, and I understand that, I mean, obviously, it would be great if we have no accidents, no serious injuries. But we also, by 2040, we also, and there's roads that aren't in our CIP plan that need that attention. And Southwest 9th is one of them, where we've had serious injuries, we've had deaths. We're doing a study through there. East University, around the fairgrounds, to the east of that, to Pleasant Hill, where the lanes are so tight and, where we'll need to, those aren't in our action plan. But those will need for us to look at those. So so some of those projects, when we're adapting this Vision Zero, to some of those that's had serious injuries and deaths, do they move up into our CIP? Or is that going to be the council's choice of where we can, okay, now, a traffic study came back, we can do this. This is what it says at Vision Zero. Are we able to move that up in the pecking order, to say? Or is it, we've already voted on 5 years of CIP improvements.
Yeah. There's always an opportunity to change the order of the CIP. And again, what I would tell you is that I will provide to you, when we have identified a new project that needs to be done, how we will get that done. If there are options to shift other projects, delay other projects, if we're able to get grant funds.
Yeah.
I will always provide you options of how to get more done and let you figure out where the priority lands.
Or what we can move out, so it's a choice. I mean,
Yes.
if this is a priority, we're passing this, and you say
Yes.
this is critical to the Vision Zero, then we should
We'll
have.
have a chance.
Who's writing the grants for this?
So traffic will always oversee these types of grants. So John Davis and traffic.
But John
engineering.
isn't specifically, I know he's probably written a few grants, but
Oh, yes, quite a few.
a grant writer per se, as we're looking into and trying to figure out how we're going to do that. Would they take their cue from John and we could get a grant writer and
That
maybe
can be-
someone that specializes in grant writing, so maybe we can secure some of these funds that maybe we're missing out on because we don't have a grant writer and that our departments are writing them?
Right. So there's a lot of questions in
I
that.
know it's not rapid fire.
Kind of unpack that one.
Since it's been a quick meeting thus far.
Yeah, we're good.
You can cut me off, but so the main question there is, should we be seeking additional resources in grant writing?
Yeah.
And there's a couple overarching concepts we need to make sure we understand. Is any grant writer out there, especially for a local government, it is not a subject matter expert And governments have 250 different services we provide. So the breadth of what we might be seeking in a grant is incredibly large. And so because of that, oftentimes for governments, a grant writer is more of a facilitator of identifying grants, bringing those to the departments to see if they align with what we're trying to accomplish already. I am not a believer, and frankly, I'm not going to bring to you grants that we discover without aligning it first to see if it's the kind of work we should be doing. We do not wait for grants or seek grants to simply do something different. It's making sure it's aligned with something, a plan you've already approved. All right, and so as part of the budget process, I will be talking with you about the possibility of adding grant resources, but it could very well be shared with other entities, because I do not see a full-time position necessary for scanning what possible grants would align with ours, because that's something our departments do a good job of already.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Carl? Sure. A few of the people that I've talked with since the agenda came out on Thursday are hopeful that we can use this opportunity to improve and expand the work group that is working on Vision Zero. I think it was brought up at the Transportation Safety Committee that some of the people originally on the committee didn't participate, and so I think we need to rethink the group, and it would be great if the work group apprised us regularly, report quarterly, or I don't know how often they're going to meet, but actually what they're working on. So in other Vision Zero plans in other communities, they have council representation in the work group, and I think that that's one deficiency that that our internal group at this stage has not had. So, I mean, that would be a way to keep council members apprised of what's going on.
Is that a motion, Carl?
Well, that could be directing the city manager or a motion, either one.
I guess I would echo Carl's comments. I would like to see, one of the frustrations with this process is it was a long process and then it felt kind of rushed at the end. And it wasn't a particularly transparent process. And I think that's an important part of this going forward. So I'd like to see increased transparency with the working group and increased representation. So I'd like to see, I think in an ideal situation, public representation on the advisory work group, not just department staff. So maybe something akin to the Transportation Safety Committee where we get input. But I also think it's important that there are meeting minutes that are shared with the public, and that we do things to notify the public about how we are implementing this so that we can continue to collect input and continue to improve this process. So I would be happy to move these items and add to that we make those changes to the Vision Zero advisory working group, that we come back with a specific composition of that group to include broader representation of the public, and that there be requirements to publish the meeting minutes, and that we get quarterly updates on the work of that group.
And including.
Did you want to add a couple council members on there?
Yeah.
Too, from the mayor
Yeah.
recommendation?
Yeah, but that's no commission. I mean, that's what I think we need to look at. I mean, what is the Transportation Safety Committee? I mean, are they the ones that looked at this? Are they not involved that much on these plans? Because quite honestly, we should be having the quarterly reports. This is another aspect of how you can monitor. So we're setting up a whole nother committee just for this, because they're done, right? Once we pass this.
One of the recommendations in this
Is
is
to
that there is
have-
a working group. That the recommendation
Instead of
currently
using-
is only city staff, and what I'm moving is to make sure that there are members of
But these are
Members of
only
the public.
advisory committee.
It-
They're not
it is-
setting policy.
It is advisory, but
Okay.
it's part of what the group that's going to be leading this work, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
we're not
They-
done with this. We're just starting down the road, so.
So I'm just curious how it fits in with the other transportation committee that we already have.
Yeah.
How do we,
Can we
do
not
they
use
report
it?
to that? I mean, I'm just saying, would it not be something that you already have, each of us have representation?
It seems like we could. The item here, 62I, is essentially approving A and B, which has been moved, with the addition of making sure that we include citizens and maybe council members even on it. But, Mr. Manager, I think that we do have an appointed citizen commission that should certainly be engaged in this.
Yeah, can't we just have them as the
Well,
committee, Carl? The traffic.
maybe we could ask you to, city manager, to come back with a proposal. This is probably a good time to
was headed.
relook
Review
at
it, yeah.
this committee and how we move forward with Vision Zero. If you look at other cities, you'll see quite a different lineup of people that are involved, so.
And that would,
But that's
So-
on our transportation safety committee that we all appoint. It should be a wide variety of different residents. Should be there right now.
Could be.
Right, or no?
Yeah.
yes, and
Yes.
and in fact,
That's
it's
what I'm
even
just-
got some
yeah.
insurance representation, public health, other stakeholders right now.
So, I mean, that would be a good advisory.
And if they have a
board that's already
subcommittee
in
under
place.
But let me come back with a recommendation, if that was where you
Yeah,
headed. and-
that would be fine with me to come back with our next meeting with a
Well,
recommendation.
so we got a motion here. Is that okay to do that, to recommend
I
that the
will-
manager come back with a?
I will modify to, yes, recommend that, but the key piece too, regardless of composition, is that there's transparency about the agenda and what that working advisory group does, regardless of who sits on that. Like, I want to capture that piece so that that piece is publicly accessible. 'cause
Okay, but we're going to refer to the manager to come back with a recommendation.
Right, on the composition, but there were two other pieces in terms of making minutes public and yeah, and quarterly report out.
Everybody okay with that?
Is
Do we have a
the
second?
traffic and is the traffic and transportation, they do all of those things, right? It's an open meeting, they have an agenda, they record their minutes. Do they not-
Transportation Safety Committee does.
They do
Yes.
that, right, okay.
Yes.
And
All
so
right.
that's what we're looking at, referring this to be the policy. So I'll second.
No, we got a second over here.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, this is kind of like new tasks that they didn't have before. So-
Right.
So that's a good time to revisit, what they're doing. So-
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Ask everybody to vote.
6 yes.
All right, moves forward. Item 63 is amending Chapter 114 of the Municipal Code regarding traffic regulation changes as follows. Council Communication Number 23-301. A is parking modification, 7th Street between Walnut Street and Locust Street, and on Walnut Street between 7th Street and 8th Street.
I'll move items 63, 63A, and pursuant to Rule 42A, waive the second and third.
Second.
All right, been moved and seconded, including the waiver of the second and third reading.
6 yes.
All right. Our next item is our communication and reports from our city members and regarding our public speaking. So quickly, for those persons waiting to speak this evening, under the public speaking items on our agenda, We will only allow and be calling on those who have registered to speak. All speakers must comply with the rules regarding their names and addresses, or they will not be recognized to speak. Each of our 4 speakers this evening will receive up to 2 minutes each to make their comments. Please keep your own time. And because at the end of 2 minutes, the clerk's going to announce time and the speaker's mic will be turned off, and we're going to move immediately to the next speaker. We want to hear from our citizens and encourage residents to be respectful of others' viewpoints that may be different from your own. But let's open it up, and our first speaker this evening is Adam Callanan. Adam here? Diana Sickles.
Diana Sickles, 1015 35th Street, 50311, Ward 4. And I thought I had 4 minutes, so I only have half of the amount of time I had. So let me move to the chase. I think I sent everyone a copy of this yesterday, so everyone should have this. So I am going to be taking this to neighborhood association meetings and trying to inform the public, because I think this project to replace all of the lead service lines by 2038 is going to require everyone to be on board. So I came with a little more to talk with you about that, but I'm going to ask you to consider 3 things. And one of them is to make a formal commitment with the Des Moines Water Works to replace all 20,000 lead service lines by 2038. And number 2 is to ask you to work with me, with the neighborhood association, so that I can have council support in talking with the neighborhood associations. And number 3, I would like to meet with a representative of yours that you designate just to talk about how we might all work together, because I think it's going to take all of us to accomplish this. I don't know if you've done the math, but it's going to take 1,333 plus lead service lines replaced every year for the next 15 years to actually accomplish this. So we've got to figure out how are we going to get everybody on board, and how are we going to actually do this, because it's the health of children that I am most concerned about. And infants and small children are most susceptible to lead poisoning in their systems. So I hope you will, someone meet with me to talk about it. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Kent Sovereign.
Make a motion to receive and file.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, I'm Kent Sovereign, 3131 Floor Drive, addressing you for the first time as a provisional Southsider. My understanding is that if I live there successfully for 20 more years, I'll be a temporary Southsider. So anyway, cut to the chase, as the predecessor did. I've lived on Floor Drive now for 15 months, 2 big problems: noise, speed. Speed is either a perceived or real problem. I don't know yet. Noise, I know, is a problem. I've been doing some research, and I think that it's along with the Vision Zero plan, be a great time for the city of Des Moines to step forward and be the first in the nation city to field test acoustic cameras used in Europe, France, Great Britain, Canada, other places. Used in Europe, they can pinpoint offenders, take a picture, etc. I haven't found anybody in the United States that does it. First in the nation, we could do it. all along Fleur Drive, all the way from 235 to the airport, especially the problem areas between, that are around Park Fleur, that are around Bell, and the Waterworks Park. So all of that is to say, it'd be great, the committee you just talked about, it'd be great to fold this in with traffic and transportation. It'd be a great area to research, to field test, maybe April, May, June, July, August of next year. Find out what the data shows us, and then find corrective action. First of all, find out if these acoustic cameras work, and then perhaps apply solutions for the city of Des Moines that enriches our lives of those who live in and around the area. Thank you very much. You know, I don't even get warmed up in 2 minutes, you know?
I think we could do more than Fleur. There's quite a few other streets.
Oh, yeah. Well, one of the big things, excuse me, just for a minute, one of the big concerns I have is if we're successful on Fleur, what does that mean for pushing the problem to Southwest 9th or to East 14th or to 63rd? I think those kinds of things should be considered
Or
too.
maybe even downtown.
Pardon me?
All downtown.
All of downtown too. Thank you.
Nicole Fritz.
Nicole Fritz, 906 Broadway Street, West Burlington, Iowa. I'm here representing Burlington Trailways. We currently have a depot that we share with Jefferson Lines at 1501 2nd Avenue. That building is being demolished this fall. We have to be out by November 15th. My ask today is a rezoning of our business. We are currently zoned as industrial, and we have been working with a realtor assigned by the city, and there are only 3 properties in the city that are available to relocate to. Of those 3, 2 are not large enough to accommodate a bus, so they don't really work. One is large enough, but there are some other struggles we would have to overcome. Not saying that it's impossible, but it's not ideal. We do provide transportation that's a little bit different than air and rail in that we are inner city rural, so we try to connect more smaller towns to the bigger cities and metros. We personally serve 6 states in the Midwest, where Jefferson Line serves 11. We interline with a lot of other carriers, including Greyhound, to get nationwide transportation for passengers. All of our motor coaches are equipped with lifts, so we do have a lot of disabled passengers that we can transport with no problem. So what we're looking for in a depot space is one that's big enough to accommodate the buses, that would be accessible by people in wheelchairs, and that has good access to interconnecting modes of transportation, such as city bus stops. Another thing that's important is having sidewalks to those stops. Currently, where we're at, there are no sidewalks. So if we drop someone off in a wheelchair, the odds of them being able to then use DART to get where they're going isn't great. We would like the opportunity to have a new facility where that is possible. Burlington Trailways alone picks up 31,170 passengers each year. Jefferson Line picks up 10,946 passengers. That's in Des Moines alone. And so we make connections with them. We have 6 routes that go through Des Moines each day. Jefferson Lines has, I believe, 4 or 5.
We can talk to you. Maybe we can with you afterwards.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Make a motion to receive and file comments 64A through D.
All right, been moved, seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Make a motion to adjourn, Your Honor.
all right. Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Want to thank you all for attending this evening.
Great, John.